Well, good evening, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino Rhino Beer Review. Today we're drinking this beer out in front of me here. It is Good Winter. It is Good Winter Lager, and it says that it's a winter lager. 5% alcohol by volume. I believe it is classified as a Bohemian Pilsner. It was canned in the winter of 2025, so I'm guessing they canned it in the last week or two. This was just announced on Multinational's Facebook page yesterday. So today is February 13th. It was announced on February 12th. I was actually going to walk up there today, but yeah, I got my wife to pick it up. I had to give her a delivery fee. I had to pay her $4 to pick up beer for me. It was $4 well spent. Not that I don't mind. Well, not that I mind walking. I walk to this brewery all the time, but it's not just fucking cold. It's fucking cold, and the streets and the sidewalks are nothing but glare ice. And yeah, I lived in the Arctic, so I know how to walk on ice, but it pisses me off as I'm walking on the ice going, why the fuck do I have to fucking plow my shit? Why do I have to dig everything out of my place and nobody else has to? And why does the city not have to do it? Like, so I get going. So I left it. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just feeling up. Okay. So there is a little bit of remnants in this glass, mostly because this time I didn't actually feel like getting up and walking the 15 feet that way to my wet bar or my bathroom or up the stairs to my kitchen. I just didn't want to. Okay, so I don't really know how to feel about that scent, because it's not particularly a good scent. Was that my security camera? It was. I wonder who's outside. It's probably my neighbor coming home from work. He parks right in front of my house. There is a little bit of haze to that, like not a lot, but a little bit. And I don't think it's chill haze. I mean, the can's been sitting down here for about 3 hours, but still is a little cooler than I would normally drink my beers at. But it came from Multinational's cooler, so it makes sense. Beautiful white head. I wouldn't say bright white head. That's coming closer almost to the off-white. There is a snap, crackle, pop. Again, not as loud or robust as I usually get. All in all, Good Winter is a good-looking beer. I'm surprised with the haze. I mean, most Pilsners are like crystal clear. I mean, you could get a Keller beer that's, well, I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. See, I hate ever getting caught up on these things, but when you get trained to, when you go through the BGCP and stuff like that, you're like, ooh, this is only supposed to be like this. And I hate that about it. It is one of the things I hate. A beer is a beer is a beer. As long as it's good, I'm happy. So I'm hoping that it's good. Again, going back to the scent out of the can. Now, I don't know if the guys at Multinational have played with the water chemistry or something, like if they've made it more sulfuric, if they put more minerals in it to make it more akin to something that would have came from Europe, or if they just brewed this on one of the days where the Saskatchewan water purification plant was giving yellow water, but it doesn't smell good out of the can. Tinny, sulfuric. There is a touch of floral and a touch of citrus, but it's behind the tinny and sulfuric. And I'm trying to be nice because what comes to my mind when I take my first scent is dog shit. And it doesn't smell like dog shit, but that's the paradigm that shoots off. And it's this weird, and it's the mixture of that floral, that citrus, that tinniness, that somewhat sulfuric scent. that is very reminiscent of getting beers from certain parts of Europe. I mean, there are places in Germany that give off that scent. There are a lot of places in England that give off that scent. If you get a beer from the Trent, whew, whew, the smell ain't all that pretty. Pedigree oyster stout, for instance. No thanks. Um, Out of the glass. See, out of the glass, it smells fine. So I don't like the smell out of the can. Out of the glass, I get that little bit of citrus, that little bit of the little bit of citrus, the a little bit of floral, and almost a tiny touch of earthiness. I really like the smell from the glass. Really don't like the smell from the can. I do like the can art though. It's so simple. It's so easy. It's approachable. I like the can art. So here we go. Time to try it. Cheers. Huh. That's odd because it's coming off from me almost like a mixture of a pilsner and a I guess a Goza more so. I was gonna say Berliner Weiss, but no, a Goza. And when I say Goza, I'm not talking like it's sorry. I can see mustache hair in my eyeball. Like I see it sitting out. Anyway, not saying that it's sour, but it has a lot of the same notes that a Goza would have on that back end. A very, very like bready, biscuity, slightly salty note coming off on the back end. It's crisp. It's clean. Excuse me. Up at the forefront, tiniest touch of a malty sweetness, as well as a little bit of straw. Middle, the straw, the straw overpowers the sweetness, and then it starts picking up an earthy and floral bitterness that goes into a slightly citrusy flavor, and then it fades off to an almost salty bitterness. All in all, it's a really nice pilsner. Excuse me. Like I know Champal is their sorry, we're gonna dang it, didn't come out. Oh, there we go. That's the hair. Everything's good again. Oh, my lord. Anyway, I know Champal is like their pilsner, their all the time pilsner. I could drink pints of this. I don't really like the Champal, but I could drink pints of this. Now, is this something I would go out of my way to get from them? Probably not, but it's nice to know that they can make a solid, easy drinking pills. I mean, it really comes down to that. There's a lot of breweries that can't do it, and they've done more than one. I'm not a fan of one of them, but I am a fan of this one. I also have their novelty Czech, which is another Czech pilsner. So they make a lot of pilsners. This one is solid. This one is good. I, I personally, I personally would rather this than Champal. But I know Champal has a huge following, a huge fan base. So I won't get this. Once it's gone, it's gone until next year. I'm guessing. I'm here now, so if they make it again next year, yeah. I can't. You know what? I'll give it a 7. I would buy cans of that. They what, $5.50 a can, something like that. $5.25 a can. Um, High Cat. Or is it $4.50 for the can? It was on their regular can menu. Let's just quickly check that, right? Because I'm giving it a 7, but how strong am I in the sevens? Because this really matters how strong I am in the sevens. Multinational. They're $5.25. Okay, so we're looking at $5.25 for a can. Good winter, $5.25, 5% alcohol. They do write it on here as a lager. On Untapped, it's written as a Bohemian Pilsner. Um, if I was saying that it is just a lager, I'd still say I'd give it a 7 because it is a solid, solid beer. Sorry, I'm tapping it in as we go here. Solid, solid, solid beer, and I have absolutely nothing bad to say about it. Um, I like it. I like it a lot, and that's just the way it is. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful evening. Au revoir. A bientôt. See you soon. Bye bye.